It's been very well documented that over the recent years that there's been a massive rise in the prescribing of dependency-forming drugs, be they opioid analgesics, be they sleeping tablets, or even some type of antidepressants. There was a recent study in the UK which shows that a quarter of all adults are prescribed dependency-forming drugs, which is a massive amount. That's 12 million prescriptions a year. And half of those people have been on that prescription in excess of 1 year, which would suggest dependence to those drugs. Now, a lot of these drugs are very important and they're very significant weapons against illness. Antidepressants are very good for treating depression. Opioid analgesics, very good for treating pain. Now, and they may be appropriately treated with those medications for a long time. But there are some people who perhaps those types of drugs isn't indicated and they're being used for other purposes, maybe to ease one's distress, psychological distress. By continued use of the drug, a tolerance develops where once a low dose isn't enough to cope with that distress, so the use or the dosage tends to increase. And then the individual loses confidence of being able to stop. And when they do try and stop, they suffer withdrawal symptoms. Now, in America, it's been very well documented that this has caused significant harm and the tragic death of many people, perhaps 50 people a day, of dying of opioid overdose or prescription medication. And that really isn't good enough. We need to ensure safety, safe practice, and treatment for those individuals. And so for opioid analgesics, our treatment approach would be replacing that opioid analgesic with a substitute medication and gradually weaning someone off that medication. And also treating any allied physical problems or psychological problems simultaneously. Now that may take a number of weeks, but it's an important initial aspect of treatment. But the real treatment, I would suggest, is equipping that individual in being able to maintain a quality period of life without medication. And so it's equipping them in how to defend against relapse, defend against craving, which will come. And we do that through psychological processes and intervention.